Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. UFC 285 is 5 sleeps away. I could not be more excited. John Jones versus Cyril Gane, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso, Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Tons of great fights on this card. Super excited. This is going to be my betting tips or picks slash predictions video, whatever you want to call it. We're going to start with the very first fight of the night and work our way up to the main event. This will probably be a little bit of a longer video just because I do want to give the main event the time it deserves at the end of the video, so I'm going to try and get through the earlier fights a little bit faster so that I can, give more time to the main event. And before we do that, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I will thank you in advance. Thank you very much for your subscription, because I'm Canadian and we're polite, so don't be mean, to the Canadian guy, and like and subscribe. And also, don't be the kind of guy that doesn't do the thing that he's already been thanked for. It would be like getting paid for a job in advance and then you don't do that job. Or ladies, whoever's watching. But anyways, first fight of the night, and according to the UFC, it is still a fight that is actually not happening right now. Okay, you'd think that the UFC's website would be the most accurate source of information in terms of their own fight cards, but it is not the case. So I've screenshotted the new opponent for Esteban Ribovics on my phone here, Loic Radzhabov. Okay, this is actually a better fight. Now, I picked Esteban Ribovics in when I originally thought it was against Kamala Kirkstill. I am gonna stick with him just because it's a short notice fight. This guy's been training, getting ready for this opportunity. He's had good performances his last few times out. He got a good finish on the Contender Series, and he's undefeated. He's just looking real good. And, the guy that he's facing is much better. As I said, this is a great matchup. This Radzhabov guy, great career in the PFL, tons of great fights over there, but short notice. It's unfortunate. It would have been better if they made this fight originally and they both had a full camp to be working off of. I'm not going to go, if it would, you know what I mean, Sean Strickland versus Cannonier, I picked, versus the other guy that he beat up. Jesus. It doesn't matter. When Sean Strickland stepped in, I can't think, my brain's Imavov. That's who it was, I think. Sean Strickland stepped in on a week's notice or whatever. I picked him just because it's Sean Strickland. I don't know that Radzhabov is going to get it done on this short of notice. This is just kind of his, opportunity to get in the UFC. I'm sure they'll give him a better circumstances next time around. I'm not going to change my pick now. It is a much better fight, though. He may not be able to get the finish against Radzhabov because, as I said, better experience, more experience, all of it. But yeah, Esteban Ribovics for the first fight of the night. Pardon me. Second fight of the night. Damon Blackshear versus Farid Basharat. Now I'm gonna go with Farid Basharat. Okay, the Basharat brothers are looking phenomenal. It'd be hard to pick against them right now. And that's going to be basically the only, as soon as I see that name right now, I'm like, yep, I'm picking that guy. And just watching their fights and stuff like that, Damon Blackshear is good, but I just don't see him getting this one done. Farid Basharat's 9-0. UFC has 0 stats on him. That is fantastic. But yeah, man, the Basharat brothers are on fire right now, and I think it'll be a good fight. Basharat might get the finish in that one. Third fight of the night, women's strawweight bout, Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ricci, or Ricky, I don't know, Ricci probably. I'm going with Tabitha Ricci here. Okay, Jessica Penne is 14-7, and I know that that's very standard for a professional women's MMA fighter in terms of their record. She's going to have a sizable, huge reach advantage and 4-inch height advantage. But that's not going to matter because Tabitha Ricci is going to want to get this fight down to the ground anyways. She's a huge favorite, and a lot of it's probably just due to the age of Jessica Penne. I feel like we're starting to see a lot of these girls that were here at the beginning age out now, and it's just, the way she goes. It happens with the men also. So I think Tabitha Ricci, possibly by sub. If not, we're going to see a nice 15-minute long, boring fight. As usual, okay? Not to be a dick, but it is what it is. Next fight, this is going to be a fun one, very fun one. Bantamweight bout between Mana Martinez and Cameron Simon, okay? I'm going with Cameron Simon. Kid looks good, man. In his last few, he can finish the fight in multiple places, ground, standing. He's good everywhere. Mana Martinez is quite good, but Cameron Simon can get it done in more than one place, right? 89% of Mana Martinez's wins come by knockout. So essentially, if he's not getting the KO, he's not getting you out of there. And when it comes to the grappling, I would favor Cameron Simon, even though the stats may not necessarily show that, I guess. But yeah, Cameron Simon's been on fire. I think he's going to look good in this one. He's a great up-and-comer. And yeah, it is what it is, guys. Next fight, this one is an exciting fight. Ian Machado Gary, I'm not sure. Has he explained why he has Machado's name as like part of his fucking full name? I don't know. There's not many other UFC fighters that have their middle name included in their, whatever. Unless it's his nickname, I don't know. If somebody knows why, please let me know. This is actually going to be like a pretty tough fight for him, but I reckon Ian Machado Gary gets it done. He's a huge favorite as per usual, almost a 5-1. Holy dude. Yeah, I mean, the dude he's fighting is a scrapper. It should be a fun one, but I think that Machado is still above this level, and we won't see him seriously tested until a little higher up the rankings here. Song Keenan doesn't go for very. He's got a 0 takedown average per 15 minutes, 0 takedown accuracy due to him not attempting any, and his takedown defense is 75%. Ian Machado Gary's got better statistics all around when it comes to the grappling and significant strikes. So that's a huge line, though. I mean, it might be worth to throw a little bit of money on Song Keenan just in case he gets it done, but I'm going with Ian Machado Gary here. Next fight, Julian Marquez versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I have to refer to my phone here because I forget who I picked. This one was actually a tricky one for me to pick. I'm going with the underdog, slight underdog, barely, but Julian Marquez here. And maybe that changes come fight night. I have a hard time trusting in my countrymen, man. Mike Malott or Malott look good, whatever. Marc-Andre, both these guys, I don't know, man. The only problem, I guess... Nah. Never mind. They both like to get subs. It's going to be... Yeah. I'm just going to go with Julian Marquez. He's a dangerous guy. He can catch you and knock you out. Marc-Andre Barriault record is starting to look a little female-ish. 14-6 with 1 no contest. I mean, yeah, I'm going with Julian Marquez. Sometimes he shows us that he's very, very good, and then other times he shows us that his decision-making is not the greatest. I think this is a good opponent for him. I think it'll be a fun fight. But, yeah, Julian Marquez. Next fight, women's flyweight, Viviane Araújo versus Amanda Ribas. I'm going to go with Amanda Ribas here. She's looked good her last few times out, and I don't see this chick hurting her on the feet, which is how you beat Amanda Ribas, basically. She's very good on the ground, and yeah, I think she can get past this lady in Viviane Araújo. They've got very similar records. Wow, similar height as Mike what's-his-face Goldberg would say. Virtually identical. They're both Brazilians as well, but going with Amanda Ribas. Next fight. Now we're starting to get to... There's some meat on the bones now. This is exciting. I ripped through those first few, okay? Because I'm trying to be quick, guys. I want to get to the main event. Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis. I hope to God that Dricus du Plessis gets this one done. I'm picking him to win. The reason why I hope he gets it done is because I'm sick of Derek Brunson ruining new contenders' chances at getting a higher ranked opponent or even a title shot. He just likes to spoil parties. Okay, he's old. He should be on his way out, but for whatever reason he's not. And sometimes he shows us like flashes of I don't want to say greatness, but Darren Till was starting to like beat him up, and then he just takes him down, mounts him, gets a choke, and all in like a few seconds. It was pretty impressive, but I just want to see somebody else, man. We know Derek Brunson. He is like, and I mean no disrespect by this, but he is like the best example of a gatekeeper. And like legitimately, not like people trying to be rude and calling dudes gatekeepers and shit, but Derek Brunson, he cannot beat the top of the division. And we've seen it time and time again. So it's not like he hasn't gotten another opportunity, right? Like Cannonier fucking knocked him out, did he not? On the ground? I can't remember exactly how that fight went, but I'm pretty sure that's how that went. Obviously, Robert Whittaker knocked him out. Obviously, Israel Adesanya dealt with him. He punches like dude. The female audience is growing, so I don't want to keep shitting on the way that female fighters fight, but fuck me, dude. He throws punches like Juliana Pena. They look like they're swimming through air. It is horrible. He does not know how to control his footwork. He's always like over top of his feet to the point where he has so much forward momentum. If it reminds me of like if you're a matador and you just like get out of the way, Derek Brunson will just fucking head bash into the cage and then get rocked from it, and then you can fuck him up. Like, his striking is so god-awful, and I can't believe that he hasn't made serious improvements, because it was years ago that he started getting finished by guys like Robert Whittaker, and then you'd think, like, I maybe need to work on my striking capabilities a little bit, and he looks so uncomfortable on the feet against Darren Till as well. Dricus du Plessis can hurt you on the feet. He's good everywhere. I could see him rocking Brunson, and then another thing that Brunson does is he'll shoot panic takedowns from like way far out as soon as he feels uncomfortable on the feet. This is what happened with Israel Adesanya. He started shooting takedowns he had no business shooting. He was way too far away, and Izzy was able to time it perfectly and catch him with a knee. I could see du Plessis hurting him on the feet, and then Derek Brunson trying to shoot some panic takedowns and even getting caught in a submission. If not a sub, he'll get TKO'd. Dude, du Plessis got a lot of guillotines on his record, though. And we've seen guillotines are working less and less as time goes on, because it's just such a standard submission that, like, almost damn near everybody knows how to defend against it. And you've got to be, you know, a fucking guillotine specialist to lock something up on a high-level guy. But Derek Brunson, he'll get hurt first. That's why I think I could see Dricus du Plessis snatching that up, because, dude, it is like, you know, there's guys that have fantastic poker faces when they get hit. Like Nate Diaz has a really good poker face, obviously. And I mean, there's a bunch of guys. Dustin Poirier's got a good poker face when Conor hurt him in their second fight, but Derek Brunson's not one of those guys. If you hurt him, he goes like his eye, literally deer in the headlights. He's like, oh shit, I need to shoot a takedown from fucking 20 feet away and get caught. And I see that happening here. Dricus du Plessis, the only way I could see Brunson getting the job done is if he's able to stretch it out over 3 rounds and make du Plessis fucking exhausted, because we saw in du Plessis' last time out against Darren Till that he can get tired. But in fairness, I mean, I don't know how many fucking strikes he threw in round 1 against Darren Till, but it was a lot. I mean, that could have easily been a 10-8 round. I think one of the judges may have even gave him a 10-8 round. And I don't necessarily see that. But Darren Till, it made sense, because you don't want to give that guy space and time to find his range, rhythm, and all that shit, get your timing down, and start landing good shots on you. So he kind of just fucking, you know, went right at him. Derek Brunson, you don't necessarily have to fight that way. Du Plessis is going to be a lot more comfortable on the feet, going to be able to take his time. I know he's got a tendency to go a little wild, but I still see him getting it done against Derek Brunson. And then finally, we will get some new life at the top of the middleweight division. And yeah, okay, this next one, dude, I'm super fucking nervous about, okay? Cody Garbrandt, don't fuck me. Exactly, man. Don't fuck me, guy, okay? Please. I'm going to pick Cody Garbrandt against Trevin Jones, and it's like it's not a confident one. It's not a confident pick. I saw some guys in the comment section on my Cody Garbrandt video, like, acting like it was like a foregone conclusion that he was going to get Trevin Jones out of there. Dude, There's no foregone conclusions in any Cody Garbrandt fight ever anymore. There was once a time when this man was 10-0, right? Fighting Dominic Cruz for the title. And then I guess 11-0. He's got one win since then. He's gone 1-5, I think is the way, since his fight with Dominic Cruz. It's fucking horrible, man. And if he was losing razor close decisions every time, I would... It would still be bad, but it wouldn't be as bad. I think what may have happened here is I think what may have happened is that Cody Garbrandt is, in terms of modern day fighters, not necessarily the top of the heap, but I think that he was one of the first modern day fighters to enter the bantamweight division like that, whereas all these other dudes were kind of on their way out, like Dominic Cruz, like TJ Dillashaw, like guys like that. And I know TJ finished him, but you know what I mean. Rafael Sunsao, all these dudes. So I think that because Cody Garbrandt, he was like starching what, Travis or Thomas Almeida. The guys that he was fighting, like, yeah, I feel like he was one of the first modern times bantamweights that just got to the division before a lot of the other new modern fighters did. Because I don't see him beating like anybody in the top 5 anymore, man. Bantamweight is so deep. And you see in his losses that he has all the skills, man. His Dominic Cruz performance was still extremely impressive. Like, to this day, it doesn't matter the way Dominic Cruz's last few fights have gone, or like Henry Cejudo beat, like, none of that matters. The way that he beat Dominic Cruz at the time was so fucking impressive. Nobody else had done it or even come close to it. I mean, TJ Dillashaw had a close fight with him, but that was like, the scorecards must have been like 50-45. I haven't watched that fight in a long time, but it was pretty dominant performance by Cody Garbrandt. But Cody just keeps fucking getting hurt, man, and then going full downy, and like, man, it's a scary one, dude. Trevin Jones has a horrible record. This 13-9. What the fuck are we doing? Okay. However, and a lot of those losses came from outside before he was even in the UFC. But a lot of his wins are him losing, and then he catches you on the chin. And as we all know, Cody Garbrandt's chin, it's like single pane glass. I got something in my fucking eye. It's like single pane glass, man. Like, my parents bought a house when I was fucking 1 or something, right? And it was a shit house. It's a little tiny house, but whatever. They had single pane windows in there, and my uncle, as a joke, was like mooning my dad from the outside. He was in the inside, my dad was outside having a smoke. The guy decided to moon him. He pressed his ass up against the window. The whole thing fucking shattered. That's like Cody Garbrandt's chin, man. And he keeps getting finished. And I could see him getting hit. I would imagine Trevin Jones has got a big reach advantage. Yeah, 4.5 inches. And we've seen Cody Garbrandt try to switch up the way that he fights to kind of like, you know, help his chin out a little. I'm not going to stand and trade with you nonstop. I'll try and, like Rob Font, for instance, he tried a pretty wrestling heavy approach to no avail. And I think that he kind of let his wrestling skills slip and go unsharpened for a while because he was so obsessed with the boxing. It's just like, as soon as he gets hurt, his fight IQ goes from like 4, because I mean, it's not very high to begin with, to fucking 0. And then he starts throwing haymakers he throws when he gets hurt, he throws punches the way Michael Chandler does when Michael Chandler hurts somebody. Like, at least Michael Chandler ain't doing that once he's been chinned. You know, when he throws hooks like crazy and none of them land, even though he's just rocked the guy with a straight right hand. Cody Garbrandt throws wild hooks like that. None of them land after he's already been rocked. And it's just so frustrating to watch. I really hope he can get this one done, man, because if not, I would honestly, like, kind of maybe want to see him retire which is unfortunate because he's so young still. But and his record's even young. 12-5 is not like, this guy's got more fights than him. I really hope he can get it done. If he loses, man, and he continues fighting, I don't know that I could ever pick him again in the future. This is absolutely a winnable fight for him. I think the UFC is trying to do him a favor with this one. And I know that Trevin Jones stepped in. It was a different opponent, but the new opponent makes it even easier. I really hope Cody gets this one done, man, and I'm picking him to win. A KO would be nice, eh? Get back in there. Get back in the win column with a KO. Okay, first fight of the main card. Ooh, we're making pretty good time, 20 minutes. I even spent a good chunk of time on those last couple ones. Bo Nickel versus Jamie Pickett. I think Bo Nickel's going to get this one done. However, the odds makers should chill the fuck out a little bit. I think Bo Nickel's like a 6-1 favorite or something like that. Jamie Pickett, man, you're starting to see these kind of records more and more. This is bugging me. This is bugging me. That UFC level guys have a fucking 13-8 record. 13-9 record in the fight previous. That shit not okay. Unless your name's Nate Diaz, which Nate Diaz is not even close. You know? He may have half as many losses as he has wins. He's not creeping up on a 50-50 record. Okay? Bo Nichols, though, I feel like Jamie Pickett is dangerous, but I don't think he's the kind of dangerous that we would need in order to see Bo Nichols lose. I'm really curious to see what happens if like Bo Nickel gets hurt, though, because he's a wrestler, and I know that a lot of these guys that wrestled in high school and college like talk about the grind and like hard work and all this shit and blah 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 blah, and that's all fine and good, but you ain't getting hit in the face, and it's different, you know. When you have stuck by a specific rule set your entire life, as soon as you change something, even if it's small, that can throw a serious wrench into it. Like, look at combat jiu-jitsu. If anybody's ever watched that, if you haven't, give it a try on UFC Fight Pass. I don't know if they've had any recent events. Eddie Bravo created the idea. It's essentially jiu-jitsu with open hand slaps. Dude, you see what jiu-jitsu would actually work in like a street fight and what wouldn't. I guess as long as you have a basic understanding of how to defend like a leg lock, but a lot of the leg lockers who do really well in like pure jiu-jitsu competitions get their fucking face smashed with the palm or even like the heel, which is damaging, dude. It hurts you a lot less to hit a hard surface with the heel of your hand than it does with your fist. And what I would say, like, I didn't watch the Jake Paul fight, but I saw a lot of highlights. And something that bugged me, and this is part of the reason why I don't like boxing. Now, I'll caveat that, because if there was any other sport in the world on that was not MMA or kickboxing, I would prefer to watch boxing over that. Like, I would watch boxing over fucking American football, regular football, basketball, hockey. Fuck them all, dude. I'm Canadian and I don't want to watch hockey. Fuck it. I would way rather watch boxing than any of those sports. But if I got to pick between kickboxing and boxing, I'd pick kickboxing. And if I had to pick between MMA and boxing, I would pick MMA, obviously. When Jake Paul, and I know that it's boxing, so it makes sense that he's been trained and like had his brain drilled to do this, but it is not fucking realistic in terms of an actual fight. Every time Tommy Fury would throw like a 1-2, Jake would dip his head so low to his right that all it would take is like one feint of a right hand and you're going to head kick him like extraordinarily easily, because he's gone and made himself 4 feet tall because he's bent over completely at the waist, hunched forward to his right. It is like the easiest setup ever, right, against a guy who can actually kick. And if you're allowed to kick, if you're playing under a rule set that allows you to kick. Now, I understand that it makes sense for boxing because you can't really do the same kind of shit with punches. There was a few times, though, that I saw Tommy Fury almost clip him with a left hook while he was doing that. And that was just in the highlights, so I don't know how the rest of the fight went, but it's so fucking unrealistic, dude. So what I'm saying is all you've got to do is add one weapon into that match, and Jake Paul's getting head kick KO'd every fucking time he steps out, because now he's been training boxing for 4 years, or whatever, however long it's been. That's drilled into him. Good luck getting that out. Your first striking sport or fucking discipline, whatever. And you get taught that it's totally cool to fucking dip your head like that. Like, yeah, damn, guy. Can't do that. And I could see Bo Nickel doing some shit like that eventually, too. Not that he's a boxer, but just, instincts, man. Ben Askren shooting on Jorge Masvidal all the way. There's just, shit gets drilled into you. And then you think that you're unstoppable because you did very good in that sport. But then you go with just, again, one rule change. And that's a wrap. And so I don't think Jamie Pickett's the guy to do it. But I think that we will see Bo Nickel get flatlined before long. Yeah, but I'm picking him to get this one done. Moving on, Mateus Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. Man, this is a good fight. I'm kind of glad, dude, because I'm a little sick of seeing Dan Hooker get fucked up. And I probably would have picked Jalen Turner in this matchup, which I know is rude to Dan Hooker because he's such a fucking gamer. And, like, he has shown flashes of brilliance, and then he has shown flashes of, like, zero brain cells left whatsoever. But I think this is a better fight. I'm going with Mateus Gamrot here. Mateus Gamrot is very good on the ground. And Jalen Turner is pretty dangerous in terms of submissions as well. But he was controlled by Matt, the Steamroller Frivola, pretty badly. Like, he lost that fight. And I can't remember if it was a 30-27, but I feel like Matt Frivola got it done with relative ease. And Matt Frivola, while he is good, he is not, top 7, top 5 of the lightweight division. So my rationale is that if, like, Matt Frivola can do that to you, then Mateus Gamrot would probably be able to do that to you. Now, that being said, there is a danger zone for Mateus Gamrot. Mateus Gamrot's striking is not elite. And Jalen Turner's tricky, tall, long, very rangy, especially for the weight class. And it's going to be a new body type for most guys when they fight Jalen Turner. Like, if you're a guy with, like, 20, 30 professional wins, there's not many body types that you haven't fought against. But when you're a lightweight and some dude steps in the cage who's 6'3", that's new. Most of the time, that's new. But I'm going to pick Mateus Gamrot to get this one done. I think he's going to be able to control Jalen Turner, maybe get like a pressure-heavy sub-arm triangle or something late. But there is... Jalen Turner might be a good underdog to pick if you're trying to make some money, because there is definitely that, the danger factor on the feet. Okay, this was the fight I was thinking about when I was talking about the odds. I have no idea what the odds are between Bo Nickel and Pickett, but Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a minus 500 favorite. I am a little surprised by that. Now, perhaps Shavkat goes out there and shows us exactly why he is a 5-1 favorite, but that seems a little crazy, man. That seems a little disrespectful towards Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal is a crafty fucking fighter, man. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Shavkat to get this one done here. Shavkat, whatever. Probably by submission. If not first, maybe second round. I know that sounds crazy coming after I'm just shitting on the 5-1 odds, but, like, it makes me want to pick Jeff Neal, and it's going to make a lot of bettors go the way of Jeff Neal as well. Like, I would imagine this line changes closer to the fight, but I think Shavkat's going to be able to control him on the ground and possibly get a submission. All right, co-main event, first title fight of the night, women's flyweight title bout, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. I'm going with Shevchenko here. I mean, obviously. Now, maybe Alexa Grasso is going to have her Juliana Pena moment. Maybe the fucking Mexican descent women's are just built different, and then they just lose in the rematch. But there's a clip when they were doing, like, the promo for this, and there's a clip of Michael Bisping saying that Alexa Grasso has some of the best boxing in the UFC. I fucking screamed at my TV. You shoot your mouth, Michael Bisping. She does not have anywhere near the best boxing in the UFC. I mean, now maybe if he would have been a bit more specific with it and said in the women's divisions, fine. because there's not many talented women boxers in the UFC. But in terms of the whole UFC, you're out of your goddamn fucking mind, Michael Bisping. Like, what are you on about, guy? I couldn't believe he said that. I literally fucking yelled and then started laughing at my TV. It's fucking mental. Okay? She's got, she does have decent boxing, but she's got kind of, and I know this is a term that gets thrown around by fucking casuals a lot, but like pillow hands. Like, she just hits like a girl, dude. That's the problem. There's a difference between girls who punch like Jessica Andrade and girls who punch like Alexa Grasso. Now, maybe Alexa Grasso will hit you more because she's not just throwing looping hooks nonstop, and she knows how to throw straight punches, and she's got some decent head movement, and you know what I mean? She can jab. They ain't doing shit, though. Like, I'll get hit with 20 of those before I'll get hit with one Jessica Andrade punch. Like, fuck all that, dude. Okay? Fuck all that. I've never seen Alexa Grasso send a lady flying. Like, girls that punch like girls is the problem. When you're fighting a chick like Valentina Shevchenko, you cannot punch. Like, Valentina Shevchenko might punch like a girl. Not really. But I don't know that the power is there necessarily on, like, to get it done with the hands. She fucking kicks like a guy, though. Her body kicks are nuts. Her head kicks are crazy. She kicks like a guy. She's got good axe kicks. We don't even see a lot of guys throw good axe kicks. Her kicking technique is phenomenal. And if Alexa Grasso is going to want to fucking box with her, she's going to have to get past all that. She's going to get her legs chewed up. She's going to get her body smashed. You know what I mean? I could potentially see Valentina getting like a good head kick here. Because it's been a while since we've gotten like a fucking highlight finish from her. And you gotta be either dumb enough or confident enough in your striking capabilities to want to stand and trade with her. And I think that Alexa Grasso is going to want to stand and trade with her. I think that she thinks her boxing will be able to get it done. I don't think it will. Okay? But like Jessica I thinks she's going to stand and fucking trade with Valentina Shevchenko. Okay, lady. Okay, lady. You get head kicked. Which I think is what's going to happen to Alexa Grasso. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm trying to put some positive energy out towards Valentina. I hope that we don't get another boring decision. You know, she has like some seriously incredible moments, and especially considering like if you look at other female fighters' highlights. But even like compared to Amanda Nunes's, you can just see the technique difference. Valentina has very good technique. And a lot of the other women just don't, because like their bodies don't move that way. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. Your guys' hips move differently. Your shoulders move differently. So throwing punches and kicks are going to be different. But Valentina's got that shit down pat. I don't see Alexa Grasso being the one to get it done. So I'm going to go with Valentina Shevchenko. Hopefully by like a third round head kick KO. That'd be fantastic. Well, kind of, because Alexa Grasso's a cute little girl. But, you know, it is what it is. I like violence. So main event time, and I gotta piss, so I gotta just mental block that because I want to talk about this, and we're at 30. I got some time. Jon Jones versus Cyril Gane. Okay, I'm picking the underdog. Here, Cyril Gane, and the reason is a lot of people are gonna shit on this pick. First of all, Jon Jones is gonna be 36 this year. Cyril Gane's 32. Jon Jones did not really ever have knockout power with his hands at light heavyweight. And I don't see him head kicking a guy like Cyril Gane, right? Like we saw against Daniel Cormier. Like when in his second fight with Daniel Cormier, Jon Jones obviously, Daniel Cormier was getting the better of the clinch exchanges. And not in terms of the actual grappling, but on the break, like kind of how what DC did to Stipe Miocic. DC was catching Jones with shit like that, right? Sent his mouth guard flying. That fight, I think, was 1-1 going into the third. And then Jon Jones head kicked a fucking 5'9" Daniel Cormier. Okay? Daniel Cormier, or 5'10", whatever he is. Jon Jones is over like half a foot taller than him. Right? Cyril Gane and him are going to be the same size. Cyril Gane might even be a little bit taller, man. Sometimes I wonder who the fuck has got the tape measures. Because I can't remember who it was, man. I think it was Dante Mays. or Dontale Mays or whatever the fuck his name is versus Augusto Sakai. One of them 6'3", one of them 6'6". They're standing beside each other at the end of the fight at the same fucking height. So who is measuring them? Or are you guys just taking their fucking at face value? How tall are you? And then, you know, he pulls a Brendan Schaub and he's like, yeah, 6'5". And they're like, okay, yeah, he's 6'5". And then his opponent's 6'3", and they're standing beside each other and they're the same fucking height. And even if they weren't the same height and they're a little bit different, 3 inches is a lot. That's like this much. You get me? From pinky to fucking index. That's a lot of height. Sorry about that. Now, if you want to find some nice Jon Jones highlights, you've got to go back a long time. Like to DC, pretty much. Because the Gustafsson win, while impressive with the context of their first fight in mind, the Gustafsson that he fought was not the same Gustafsson. Like, he didn't look in the same shape as he did for their first fight. He didn't look as sharp as he did in their first fight. And I know he had that wonderful performance against Glover and shit, but like, that was the end of Gustafsson's career, unfortunately. Like, it's very unfortunate. They should have done a rematch like immediately after that first fight, because it would have been, they're striking more while the iron's hot. It would have been a bigger fight overall pay-per-view wise. Like, man, we saw guys after Jon Jones and Gustafsson too. Like, Krylov ran through Gustafsson. Anthony Smith beat the brakes off Gustafsson. Fucking Verdum subbed Gustafsson real quick. Like, Gus has not had a good run after the Jon Jones fight. So you kind of see, like, but I know Verdum subbing you may not seem like the worst thing in the world, but Verdum was old as fuck also. And, you know, here's the problem that I see for Jon Jones. A, the age. B, the fact that he was never really like a fast twitch muscle guy anyways. Like, obviously he has good kicks, good knees, elbows, all that shit. He is not extremely explosive. He's got good technique. And he's a big dude. But he's not going to be a big dude anymore. Like, he was... I don't want to hear someone say, like... Because when you're talking about the grappling, right? I don't want to hear someone bring up opponents from, like, a decade ago. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about his fight with Machida. I don't want to hear about his fight with fucking Rashad. I don't want to hear about his... Like, I don't want to hear about these fights. Because they're not relevant anymore. A lot of those guys probably could have fought at smaller weight classes anyways. Machida did. At one point, Rashad Evans did. Okay? The UFC of today is not what it once was. And Ciryl Gane, okay, is a phenomenal athlete. Like, phenomenal. And the level of technique that he displays is incredible. And I'm pretty sure he was a late starter. If you want an accurate representation of the Jon Jones that we have available to us, because I don't buy that whole he's fucking bored argument, or like the redact Brendan Schaub, he's playing with his food in there. No, that's not what he's fucking doing, dude. Shut up. If he's playing with his food in there, why isn't he getting finishes? If somebody says that about like Piotr Jan versus like Uriah Faber, I would say, okay, maybe I see that. But he did end up getting the finish. That's what I think of when I hear people say playing with their food. Jon Jones going in there and almost losing to Thiago Santos is not him playing with his food. Jon Jones going in there and losing to Dominic Reyes only to be gifted a decision by the judges in fucking Texas is not him playing with his food. Okay? And that fight is not like the Max Holloway Volkanovski 2 fight, where it has been, fucking 3 years since that fight happened. I think it was at the beginning of 2020, January or something, February maybe. He lost that fight, man. He lost that fight. There's no fucking two ways around. Like, you cannot... I've heard people say... Okay, I'll tell you this. Rewatching it, I could arguably score it 4-1 to Reyes easier than I could score it 4-1 to Jones. How they scored it 4-1 to Jones. I could score it 4-1 to Reyes before I would score it 3-2 to Jones. Jon Jones did not win that fight. And while Dominic Reyes is a good athlete and he's similar body type, His reach is nowhere near, wingspan-wise anyways. John Jones was getting hit with some shots that he probably shouldn't be getting hit against when he's got like a fucking 6-inch reach advantage over a guy. That if Ciryl Gane hits you with those same kind of shots, as a wrap. Or not a wrap, but it's certainly the beginning of the end. Like, Dominic Reyes hit him with a fucking rear uppercut and shit. And you're like, you got 6 inches less wingspan than this guy. You shouldn't be hitting him with that kind of shit. And John Jones, to his credit, has a very good chin. But again, dude, Ciryl Gane, like, he's way bigger than Dominic Reyes. Way more athletic than Dominic Reyes, despite what fucking, again, I've said his name like 3 times. His videos drive me crazy. Brendan Schaub talking about, oh, the guys don't understand the level of athlete to go to an NFL combine. Ciryl Gane is a better athlete than Dominic Reyes. I don't give a fuck about football. We're talking about fighting. Ciryl Gane just like stood up with Francis Ngannou on him. Okay? And John Jones couldn't even keep Dominic Reyes down. I think he got him down like, what, once, maybe twice? I can't remember. But I remember for the first 3 rounds, he couldn't get him down. And at least by today's standards, where you have to actually do something with your takedown in order for it to count as effective grappling. Because Dom Reyes' butt may have touched the mat, but I'm pretty sure he got up immediately. And it took him a long time to get that done. And Dominic Reyes in that fight was like fucking frantic, twitching out, like throwing shit every couple seconds. Every second. Like, it's no wonder he gassed, right? But it was unfortunate because he fucking won. And he should have won. And then his career went to shit after. Because anybody who's got a decent level of striking, who's not just terrified, like I literally think that John Jones is to the point where he just doesn't want to lose. He's afraid to lose. He wants to, like, if you think man, if Dominic Reyes can knock you out, what's Ciryl Gane going to do to you? If Thiago Santos, a guy that used to fight at welterweight, can knock you out, what does Ciryl Gane get? Like, and I know that it's not comparable and styles make fights and all that stuff, but dude, Thiago Santos, and I hate the narrative that John Jones fucked his knee up. He didn't. Thiago Santos whiffed on a leg kick. I watched the fight the other day. Whiffed on a leg kick. Fucking tore every ligament in his knee. Had nothing to do with those stupid oblique kicks, okay? And Thiago Santos almost won that fight on a leg. Just one. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? We've seen other light heavyweights like make light work, like Jamal Hill of Thiago Santos. Not light work, but finish him at least, guy. You're going 5 rounds with a guy on one leg and you ain't even coming close to getting a finish. Dominic Reyes beats you for 3 rounds in a row and then you don't, like, it's just, the John Jones that we have available to us today is not the John Jones that we used to know, and, you know, and especially that was like 3 or 4 years ago. I just doubt that in old age he's gonna get better. Although that steroid rule might make a difference. Which is fucking gross, but whatever, dude. I am a little biased here. I can't stand John Jones. I think he's an absolute piece of shit human being. And I think that he gets way too much special treatment. And yeah, I think Ciryl Gane's gonna chop his leg up. I think Ciryl Gane's going to pick him apart on the feet. Maybe we see a late finish. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, though. It's been a longer video. Doubt anybody's going to watch it fully, but that's okay. We're almost at 45 minutes. Yeah, like and subscribe. I'll thank you in advance for your subscription because I'm Canadian. I thank you very much for your subscription. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you at the next video. Bye-bye.